people are upset. They're attacking Kyle Shanahan because 49ers players were not aware of the overtime rules. They didn't know that if they went down and scored a touchdown, they were going to still give the ball to Patrick Mahomes, so he had a chance to drive down the field, score again, potentially win the game with a 2-point conversion. And I think the criticism, the hate, it's a little bit overblown because the logic is there. When you take a look at why he said he made the decision, he said he made the decision because he wanted the ball third. He wanted that third opportunity if it came to it. And you take a look at how the game had gone up to that point. The Chiefs had one touchdown in regulation, and that came off of a muffed punt on the very next play. Patrick Mahomes throws the ball to MVS. They scored 4 field goals. So the 49ers defense, all the hate that Steve Wilks has gotten, all the criticism it has gotten, they did a solid job against the Chiefs, holding them to 4 field goals. They didn't let them score a lot of touchdowns. So in overtime, if you take the ball first, you go down and score a touchdown. Or you take the ball first and you have to kick a field goal like the 49ers winded up having to do. The logic is there to believe your defense could hold the Chiefs to at least a field goal because they did that multiple times during regulation, and then Patrick Mahomes just happened to go down and score the touchdown. So I think the logic is there. I think the hate for Kyle Shanahan is overblown. I personally probably would have wanted to kick the ball because I would like knowing what you had to go down and do and not having to guess, oh, do I need to kick a field goal? Do I need to go for 2? I think knowing that is more important, but I see the logic that Kyle Shanahan was going for.
Yeah, people are looking at this like it's college football rules where everyone gets 2 possessions guaranteed, and then you have to know or you not know. I think kicking first is analytically the right move. I think it was the right move at the time, given how the offense and defense had been flowing during the game. And I think the people criticizing Kyle Shanahan for not getting his players in the loop, bit overblown. I'm sorry, the backup fullback does not need to know the specifics of
Kyle
overtime.
Juszczyk didn't know
The starting fullback doesn't need to know the specifics of the overtime rules. The only area that could have conceivably been an issue is if the 49ers had gone down there and scored a touchdown, and then the 49ers players stormed the field thinking they'd won the Super Bowl. While that would have been hilarious and probably gotten a 15-yard penalty, that would have been the only issue I saw there. You want to know what you have to do on the third drive. You want the opportunity for when it becomes do or die, when you have the ball in your hands, to go out there and say, hey, all we need is points and we win this. Granted, what Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Travis Kelce were saying, if the 49ers scored a touchdown and the Chiefs scored a touchdown, they were apparently going for 2, which that's where you get into the advantage of getting the ball second in that setting, I guess. But the only valid reason to not take the ball first is because you don't want to give the ball to Patrick Mahomes last. You don't want to risk that. You would rather the Chiefs' defense have to go out there and make a stop than let Patrick Mahomes drive down the field because, as we all know, he's capable of doing that. I 100% support Kyle Shanahan. I think the narrative that he's some bad head coach because of his Super Bowl record is a bit overblown. He's made some mistakes. Those mistakes would be forgotten if he had won the game. Those mistakes would be forgotten if his players performed a little bit better in the biggest moments. Those mistakes would be forgotten if the Falcons' offensive line could pass block for Matt Ryan or Matt Ryan threw the effing ball away. But, bit of a tangent.
Well, it isn't, and I don't know if I necessarily addressed this fully, but it is a bit of an oversight to not have your team fully aware of what they're going to do with these new rules when you're playing the Chiefs, who are a big part of the reason these rules were implemented. So
well, I think the Buffalo Bills are the biggest part of why these rules were. Let's petition the league. So can we petition the league for the Chiefs not to have won the Super Bowl? Is that an option?
I mean, that's why I think that's where my biggest criticism of Shanahan is coming from, is why does your team not know about that and the logic that you're going into for that decision if it comes to that? I think that's a bit of an oversight, like I already said, but I think the criticism for the specific decision and the hate he's getting for that, I think is silly.
Silly indeed. Anyway, those were our thoughts on Kyle Shanahan's decision to get the ball first in overtime. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. Obviously, benefit of hindsight. Maybe he would have liked to kick it, but we'll never know. Let us know what you think. Subscribe, share, and like if you're still here, and we will see you in the next video.